seminar introduced students to various approaches to thinking about the archive and to question how some knowledge about the past gets preserved and some repressed. Students explored specific examples of archives such as the Open Society Archives, Visual History Archive or the US National Archives. Also, the two cities, Budapest and Minneapolis, were examined in a field trip as sites of historical commemoration in public spaces, but also as repositories of the past. The course had two teaching sites, Central European University and University of Minnesota. Most class sessions were joint sessions connected through video conferencing. The course materials and collaborative online activities were hosted by the University of Minnesota Moodle site, a flexible virtual learning environment. The course syllabus was created to take advantage of online technologies to support teaching and learning during the video conference sessions and between these occasions. The aim was to provide for students sustained engagement with the topics and to support them in their critical inquiry. Every week, students share their reflections about the weekly readings in forum discussions, created collaborative documents, wikis, about their field trip experiences, and experimented with various communication tools such as Skype and Google Hangouts to design their joint projects. These projects were accomplished in mixed small groups involving students from both sides, which were organized around topics such as secret police archives, the city as archive, the press as archive, and archiving performance.
So this seminar was a result of several accidental meetings. So with MJ Mains and Leslie Morris, we met in different conference settings, and it turned out that our interests are somehow converged. And then they had this setup, namely the collaborative research seminars, and they were very much invested in continuing this collaborative research seminar across the Atlantic. It was actually a great experience to develop a syllabus and a very detailed plan for each class, how the technology and how the content will work. That was a very interdisciplinary and a very multinational group. Not only here, the CEU students were coming from different cultural and educational backgrounds, but also on the Minnesota side, they were also very different students. So it was really a unique learning and teaching opportunity.
For me, this was a very special experience for several reasons. Being in my second year here at CEU, I find this to be completely different from everything I've done last year. First, in terms of content, like every student, I signed up for the class because I was interested in a particular topic, and by the end of it, it turned out that all the other topics somehow built into my research interests.
When I first signed up for the course, I was really interested in the content, but I was also really skeptical about the technology. I mean, I've done some online stuff before, and it had never really come off. But I have to say, I've been converted. It's really just a whole new way of interacting with people, but I found it to be really helpful. And not only in terms of working with people from another university, but also for my own learning. You know, I was constantly having to reflect on the readings and produce intelligent thought, and not just, you know, for an hour in class. It was really something that I was thinking about throughout the week and throughout each day.
I think the class was interesting in terms of how the seminar itself was conducted, not having the pressure to produce something on the spot based on the readings that you did sometime before and maybe you don't remember was quite simply liberating, and feeling that the professor has takes on the responsibility to build in your input, whatever that is, into the conversation rather than asking you to produce something there.
I really like to work on this course because it challenged several kind of dogmas of university teaching. So the one dogma is that you have got a teacher who is sharing the knowledge with the students. And this very particular setting that there was a transatlantic dialogue, and then the students were actually posting their reflections before the class, and the class discussion was based on their previous postings. It made the students students very much owners of the knowledge. It was a very friendly, supporting atmosphere which was based on a common knowledge. Here we actually divided the assignments into little tiny pieces, and for every little tiny piece, writing, assignment, posting, the students got immediately a feedback from one of us, sometimes even for three of us. So I could imagine that sometimes the students were a little bit overwhelmed by the immediate reactions from three of us. So they could immediately check their advancement, they could immediately check where they are, and they could reconfigure, reposition themselves in their reading and their learning process. The grade scale was not necessarily there because from the beginning there was a continuous feedback and a continuous communication about what they are actually doing.
I'm very glad that I chose this course as one of the first courses in my time at CEU. I liked that we had the different tasks, for example the assignments every week or the presentation, of course also the paper in the end, that you constantly had to approach ideas and concepts from different perspectives and through different ways.
I really enjoyed using the Moodle site because it was a platform where we could share our ideas, and we already could make connections with students who have similar research projects or interests. And towards the end of the course we started to work on the group work together. Some of the students were from the Minnesota side and some from the CEU side, and we could work together using different technologies.
For me, the most significant experience was the group project, which was a really fascinating experience with two students from the Minnesota class, Nicole and Megan. They are both PhD students and they were extremely inspiring to work together. The common topic was the performance and how to archive performance as such.
The CEU Center for Teaching and Learning has been researching this course. We focused on investigating the collaboration among the students and also their individual knowledge creation processes and how online mentoring, online communication, online group work, instructor support can help them in these learning processes.
I had the chance to take part in this project both as a teaching assistant and as a research assistant. As a doctoral student and somebody who is planning to teach in the future, it was a very exciting experience to me because I could observe how actually three teachers act in class, not in the same classroom, and how they manage to build up the contact with the students. And the most important thing was actually how student-centered teaching is happening and how is this taking place.
It's been really fascinating, and I think because of the interdisciplinary approaches, I've really been able to come away with not just a little bit of extra knowledge, but kind of a methodological toolbox for going forward into my studies. And this is my first semester here, so that's definitely really exciting. And I know I'll reflect back on what I've learned in this class throughout the rest of my academic studies, which is going to be a while.
It was not just intellectually extremely stimulating, but also I think we really got to know each other personally. We still keep in touch, even the seminar is over. Somehow it just became kind of our habit, I guess, just to discuss intellectually the weekly topics of the seminars.
One of the most powerful moments for me in the class was when we had a Skype meeting with our fellow member from Minnesota, and when I actually saw her, I was genuinely happy, which for me encompasses both the limitation of this kind of technology, where you don't actually get to make contact with a person, but also the benefits that, in a way, you do connect.